What's going on, people, and welcome back to another Premier League predictions. This week for Game Week 26, let's get into it. Bournemouth versus Liverpool, starting on Saturday at 12:30. I've gone with an away win to Liverpool in this one. I feel like, obviously, what they did to United recently, it was just making me want to smash the room up. But fair play to them, and it looks like they might be turning a corner. But yeah, I think Bournemouth will be an easier game for them, and if they're on like they were against us in terms of the form and being clinical, I see them winning this game pretty easily. So I'm going to go 3-0 to Liverpool. Starting at 3 o'clock kickoffs, we got Everton versus Brentford. Dyche against Frank. I think this could be a very good game. I think there'll be one goal in it to decide it, and I've gone with an away win to Brentford 2-1. But Goodison is a very difficult place to go to and get a result. But I think Brentford could. So I'm going to go 2-1 Brentford. Leeds United versus Brighton. Again, I'm going with the away team. I'm going to go with a narrow 2-1 away win to Brighton. I just think that overall, quite a bit of a better team than Leeds if you look at the table, but depth as well. But we never know. But I'm going to go 2-1 Brighton. Leicester versus Chelsea. I've gone with a 2-2 in this one. I think Chelsea, obviously, they've just gone into the quarterfinals of the Champions League, which they desperately needed to have a performance in that after losing the first leg. They need to pick it up in the season now and get going, and I definitely feel like they could beat Leicester, but I just think because they're struggling a bit at the moment themselves, I think Leicester being at home and the crowd behind them might just do enough to get them something from the game. So I'm going to go 2-2. Tottenham versus Forest. I've gone with a 1-0 win to Tottenham in this one. They've just crashed out of the Champions League, though, which I wasn't surprised by. I don't know why people were so surprised by it. They are known as the bottlers. Whether it's league or in European competitions, they always bottle it. But I do think they'll pick up a result in this one against Forest. I'm going to go 1-0. 5:30, Crystal Palace versus Manchester City. I've gone with a 2-1 away win to Manchester City in that one. I just think Palace are not fully flowing at the moment, and I think that City will have enough in them to scrape a result in that, even if they struggle for it. So I'm going to go 2-1 City. Going into Sunday's games, we got Fulham versus Arsenal. I think this could be game of the week. Fulham are a real challenge and a threat in the league, and they're at home for this one. Arsenal have been slipping a little bit recently, but with some good performances too. I think there could be a lot of goals in this one, so I'm going to go 2-2. Manchester United versus Southampton. I'm going with a 2-0 home win to Manchester United in this one. I can't remember the guy's name at Southampton that's took over there, but I've been impressed by him since he's took over. I think they've improved. So they're definitely more of a threat right now than they would have been a few weeks back. But I still expect us to get a result, being at Old Trafford, and just the quality of both teams in depth and overall. So I'm going to go 2-0 to Manchester United in that one. West Ham versus Aston Villa. I'm going to go with a 3-2 away win to Aston Villa in that one. I was a little bit unsure about this one. I found this one of the harder ones to pick this week. But I think Emery is doing a pretty good job there at the moment. They're a bit inconsistent, but I think he's steadying the ship. And West Ham this season, they've been a bit better in recent weeks, but I feel like Moyes is still under a lot of pressure. I don't think the players are definitely back in terms of form and consistency. I'm going to go with an away win in that one to Villa, 3-2. And then lastly, for Sunday's games at 4:30, we got Newcastle versus Wolves. Newcastle have kind of fell off the cliff a bit recently, which was a bit of a shame to see because I definitely wanted them to challenge in the league. And they could still finish high up in the table and get at least a Europa spot. But they have drifted off a bit in the last few weeks. Against Wolves, I think they've improved in recent months under Lopetegui. And I think that they'll be hard to break down even at Newcastle's ground. So I'm going to go over 1-1. Going into Wednesday to finish off the game week, we got two games. 7:30 for both. Brighton versus Crystal Palace. I've gone with a home win to Brighton in that one, 1-0. And then lastly, we've got Southampton versus Brentford. I've actually gone with Southampton to grab something in that one. I know Brentford will be favourites, but I feel like Southampton under this new guy, as I said, they're looking harder to beat and they're just looking more of a threat than they were. and they got to fight for the points. And I think they'll do everything within their power to get something in this, more than the other game that they've got, so against United. So personally, I think that they will get at least a point in this, but Brentford are a hard team to play. I'm going to go 2-2 for this one. So that's it for this week's Premier League predictions, guys. Let me know your predictions in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure the notification bell is on. And make sure you're telling your friends to come and like the videos and subscribe to the channel themselves. And come and be part of the community over here. They don't want to fuck with the real ones.